Well, breaking news. The three-time world champion has put his clothes back on and will not be fined by Barry Hearn. It's just been a nuts 17 days, hasn't it? Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, it was getting a little bit tense towards the end. I still felt quite relaxed, but I mean, what a break I pulled out in our last frame after missing the pink to win the frame before. You know, there's not many players that could have pulled that break out under that pressure, and John Higgins would have been one of them because he was doing it to me all day. But it's probably one of the best breaks I've ever had in my life.
There was only one player who could come back from 14-7 down and get right back in a match, John Higgins. There's also only one player, I think, who could be pegged back to 15 all and then come out as if nothing had happened and fire in some great clearances as you did. How are you able to do that? Because it seemed as though you came back out and thought, well, okay, don't worry about that. I'm still in it. I'm still only 3 away from winning.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm just lucky, I guess. I've always been like that. I'm apart from the Barry Hawkins game where I was twitching all over the place, I felt out there totally relaxed and comfortable. Even at 15 all, that's how I normally am. 9 times out of 10, that's how I am. And you know, at the end of the day, it was 15 all. I was 15-10 up. So what? I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen, he's going to beat me 18-15. That's it. That's the worst thing that can happen. So there's nothing to get it up about. So, and I was enjoying the occasion. Felt so relaxed, and you know, I knew I could make some breaks when I got in because I just felt good. But you know, that last break I made was probably the best break I've ever done in my life.
Surely, after all the things you've done, you're now a 21-time ranking event winner. That has got to be, even notwithstanding Northern Ireland when Joe was ill, this is surely the biggest win, the thing you're most proud of in your entire career. It's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah, I used to be the respotted black with Stephen Hendry. It was my biggest win, I think. This one has definitely topped that, mainly because of the age I am now, and I thought the days were behind me. So to actually win this now at 43, one of the oldest ones I think ever to win it, apart from Raiden, I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't believe it.
And how much difference did it make compared to 03 to have the 3 boys there with you?
Unbelievable. I mean, last time I won this, I was just practicing for them kids. Now they're here, see me pick up a trophy. It's the first time they've seen it. The 3 I've won this year have all been abroad and they haven't travelled with me. So it's the first trophy they've seen their old man pick up, and I'm sure he'll stay with them for a long time.
And we've got to mention Joe. I mean, God, it must be so hard for the families because, you know, as John was coming back into it, they kept cutting to shots of Joe. If it wasn't for Joe and then Steve and the boys at Sight Right, but it's Joe primarily, because if she'd said, yeah, okay, you can retire, we'll move abroad, find somewhere sunny, job done, it's been a great career. If it wasn't for Joe, you wouldn't be standing here now as a 3-time world champion.
No, absolutely. You know, I did say to her about moving abroad, selling up, moving abroad. She basically shot me down in flames and said, not till the kids are all 18 and no chance. And she just convinced me to carry on, really. I mean, it's a lot tougher watching. I mean, even when I had to watch players, like if I'm watching Lee Walker play, you know, I get sweaty palms and get nervous. But when I'm playing, I don't get none of that. I mean, watching's a nightmare. When they come on at the end then, obviously she was emotional. I got a little bit emotional, but who cares? I've just won the World Championship, and I suppose you deserve to.
I couldn't believe that you managed not to cry.
No, I
you almost went though, didn't you?
A little bit, yeah. When you know, because you know, I forgot to thank my sponsor the last time I won a tournament, Ron Skinner, who passed away about a few months ago, and you know, he's been there with me from, you know, when I was struggling. So you know, I'm sure he's watching down somewhere. Now I won the tournament. Obviously, Mark's around all the time, and you know, they've been great sponsors for me, and I'm glad I repaid them with a World Championship win.
And just finally, that you one of the great things I imagine about being a champion is that you inspire people, not just the older generation to keep going and try new things, because there'll be players in their 30s who think, wow, Williams didn't even make it here last year and he's the world champion. You inspire the next generation as well. What would you say to a young lad at home who stayed up late and watched that and thought, I just fancy that, maybe it could be me? What would you say to a young kid who's just watched that?
I'd love to see British youngsters hopefully watch that, and I'd love to something like that, get them into the game, because I'd like to see nothing more than UK, Welsh juniors come through, because it all seems to be Chinese youngsters coming through at the minute, and I think we need an influx of British players. And if I've done my part to get a few of them off the chair tomorrow to go to the snooker club and have a game, then that's great.
Are we getting lashed tonight, having a boogie?
Well, I mean, last time I won this, I had a glass of milk, went to bed early, went home as if that was it.
You've got no chance of that tonight, Williams.
I'm not going home until the sun comes out. I'm going to have a few beers, I'm going to enjoy it, and I think I thoroughly deserve it.
Carnage beckons in Sheffield. He's a 3-time world champion. Unbelievable, big boy.
Cheers, mate.
Betfred, proud sponsor of the World Snooker Championship.